Do you think your CBR 1000 is healthy just because it starts and idles? Well, here's a kicker. Worn spark plugs
doesn't look very good.
Yeah.
Hey y'all, come look at this.
Stretched
What the hell has gone on here?
and a worn cam chain tensioner can quietly destroy the performance of your bike and could potentially leave you on the side of the road. In the next 13 minutes, I'm going to show you how to replace spark plugs and how to replace a cam chain tensioner. And I'll show you how to diagnose extreme wear on these parts so that you don't gamble with your engine's health. Drop your questions below with your riding crew and let's dive in. And today, Dino and I are replacing a tensioner on a CBR 1000. Which year model again? Can we say 08 to 2012? That year model.
Round about there.
That generation. Spongo boy, bull nose. So we're going to show you the full tutorial on how to actually do that. Not very hard, but yeah, stick with us today and we're going to show you what's happening, baby.
Yeah, I've got to strip it and check it out now.
Yeah. As in.
Alright, I think let's do spark plugs first. We're going to remove the core packs. That's what they look like. As you can see, this one's also got a little bit of water in it through the top. Obviously the water sits inside the cylinder and then this starts to rust up.
Is it because of what the condensation?
Yeah, pretty much. But as you can see, the seals over here that goes around the core pack, it also starts to perish when you're riding. It picks up water, using a pressure washer to wash your bike, things like that. The water runs inside. Now between here and here, the water's got nowhere to go. Makes
sense. So then it'll sit there and then just corrode.
It just sits there and it just corrodes.
Oh, especially when the bike heats up, cools down, yeah.
Yeah, and they tend to sit fast a little bit. Don't get removed very often, so nothing a little bit of lube can't solve.
Believe me, that helps with a lot of situations.
Oh yeah. What does Jay-Z say? If it's tight, get the KY jelly. Alright, we'll leave that, let that sit for a little bit. Hopefully we can get it out.
Work it in.
Spark plugs, China. Unique access angles is what they're called.
That's just English for, okay, we're just going to make it difficult for you.
Yeah, pretty much. Here we go now. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
How does that look? Oi, oi. Is that oil? Or some sort of corrosion maybe?
I think this is from the corrosion. Obviously, you know that water that we spoke about earlier?
Yeah.
It's got nowhere to go. And then that is oil. So you see these iridium plugs, they are supposedly supposed to be running for 100,000 kilometers. But yeah, I've never seen an iridium plug that that has run for 100,000 and still looks fairly okay. And if you take a close look over there, you can even look at the prong, the rounding of the prong that's there.
Yeah,
the tip itself is still a little bit silver, but I mean, if you look at the porcelain and the carbon buildup that's around it, doesn't look very good.
Yeah. So 100,000 Ks, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what the manufacturers say, 100,000 Ks. But I've yet to still see one that has run 100,000 Ks and still looks okay. There we go. Alright, there we go, same issue.
So do you think these core packs might give way as time goes?
Look,
Not really.
not really, because the primary and the secondary windings is inside. So as long as that doesn't get disturbed on the inside, you're still good to go.
Okay.
This is just a bit of surface rust that's on there, so it's not going to cause any arcing or anything like that, unless the inside underneath this is cracked. Then it would arc through this onto the motor. If you take a look on the inside there, you can actually see how the corrosion is built up.
Let's try to see if you can get in.
There we go.
Oh damn. Okay. And on and from the side there too.
Yeah, you can see it clearly there.
That bolt then right at the bottom there too as well. Is that kind of expected on almost every bike?
Yes, especially bikes that come with age. It is something that you can expect to see. That's why sometimes it's so difficult to get those core packs out as well.
Because it becomes,
because of the water, and then it sits fast and then it corrodes.
And.
But the biggest issue is when that water goes in between there.
Yeah.
And the contact of the spark plug. So basically, if the water gets in between there and the point of the spark plug, it could create short,
Yeah.
basically, in essence.
Then you get your misfiring,
And you get misfiring, and then
all these funny things.
especially when you use things like pressure washers when you wash your bike. You've got to
So-
be very careful using a pressure washer,
Right?
because the closer you push that pressure washer to, and like what a lot of guys like to do is they take the fairings off and then they wash the fairings separately and then they wash underneath the bike. That's all great, perfectly fair and well. But when you've got everything like this exposed and you use the pressure washer, you must remember that pressure washer impregnates everything with water.
Feel you.
That pressure is so heavy, so plugs, joins, everything like that pushes the water in, and then you start the bike up after the wash. Hey bro, my bike's not running properly.
What's happening?
What's happening? What's going on? What did I do? And then you start landing up with issues and problems.
I think I had the same issue. I think I really did. I did have the same issue with the RR as well. The last time when they pressure washed it, yeah, it was misfiring
And you
after
got
that.
problems, yeah. And now you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You've literally got to unplug everything, blow it all out.
No.
Take the coil packs out, unplug
Talk
every
about-
joint that's there.
Talk about time wasting.
Because yes, it is insulated. The plugs and the joints and the couplers and everything are insulated to prevent water from getting in there. But if you are pushing a pressure washer into there, bro, it's going to impregnate that thing with water like you cannot believe.
From work. Because I need to record. There we go. Okay. Oh, there as well.
see
It's almost like a...
The rust over there. So there's definitely be some water.
Just that we don't have the history of the mileage, when the last mileage was done. But I'm sure that the air filter also can tell us. Oh, there's the air filter.
Air filter still looks okay. There's no signs of water or anything on the air filter, but it is due for a change.
So would you say that this air filter and those spark plugs, the mileage looks to be close to...
The air filter's definitely been changed more recent than what the plugs have been.
Oh yeah, okay.
I think this bike is on roughly about 50,000.
One at least.
Let's see.
Let that one be at least.
Yeah. This looks really old. So these might even possibly be still the original plugs, possibly, unless it was changed very long time ago.
Let's see. Oh yeah. So that's worn in and brand spanking new.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a big difference too. Don't know. But
Yeah,
anyway.
I think these are like somewhere in the past will go wrong quickly. Bike for nothing. A tip that I could give is two things. When putting the plug back over here, you need to hear that audible click, which means that it's gone all the way in and the safety clip is now over to keep it in place. And then when pressing it back over the spark plug, there's like a little piece of wire, if I could call it like that, that basically clips over the thread of the tip of the spark plug. And you need to hear that audible click go all the way down.
It's almost like a like a
so
grind.
it's like a step down.
Yeah.
So click here and click here. If you don't get those clicks, there's a good chance that something's not making good contact somewhere.
Right.
Start it up. There's fire.
I am tired of misfires. No more misfiring.
I like to put a little bit of this on.
Yeah, because it was a bit corroded as well.
It also just helps it go over easier, number one. And number two, it also disperses water and any
Whatever
moisture.
else. Oh, nice. Okay.
Click. Click.
There we go. So we're just going to reassemble the rest of this.
Yeah.
And then after that, we're going to be moving on to...
The tensioner.
There we go. That bugger right there. So here's the new one that's going on. That one there. Okay, this is a bit of a tight one. The tension is right by the frame, so it's a bit of a weird one to get to.
There we go.
Oi! Stretched
What
out.
the hell has gone on here?
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
So, okay.
That's not cool.
As you can see with the discoloration that's in the metal there, and this funny looking stuff that's here, this tensioner has been welded up.
Oh no, man.
So they've taken a nut.
I've seen it all. I've seen it all.
Yeah, like I say, bro, the thing is, in this industry, you always expect the worst and you brace yourself for the worst. Optimism is not really something that comes by easy in this game. So they've taken the nut, welded the nut onto the shaft here. As you can see by that discoloration, obviously it got hot.
Yeah.
And clearly to try and push
it all the way forward,
further in than what it can actually go.
So they tried to.
Let's compare this quickly to.
That's not a modification. That's a.
What the original looks like.
Okay, so
let's
extend it all the way out,
just so that you can have a good comparison. And as you can see, let's put them right next to each other. The nut that's been welded on there pushes the timing chain out, or pushes the tensioner out further, so that the timing chain has got more tension on it. Now the problem with this is putting this original tensioner back in. It says to me that timing chain is already stretched
completely.
So this tensioner is not going to give or provide enough tension for this. So we are 9 out of 10 going to need to replace this timing chain because of this modification that has been done on here.
Alright, cool. So we're going to give you a bit of a demonstration of exactly what's happening here, and just so you guys can understand plus minus what's happening.
Right, so this is just for illustration purposes only, but the principle behind it is exactly the same. So what happens is the tensioner goes onto the cylinder head, which is here, and then there is a guide where the chain runs onto. So now the tensioner picks up the slack. Okay, great. Now when it starts to wear out, that slack becomes more and the chain whips inside the engine when it's turning under load.
Yes.
All right, now we're going to put this tensioner back in to here, but now it hasn't got that extra 5 mil difference, and the original tensioner is not going to pick up the tension because that chain has already been stretched to accommodate for this.
How many more millimeters further has it been?
We could measure it roughly. So we're looking at roughly 33 millimeters. We are looking at more or less 38. So that's a 5 millimeter difference. So this already had a noise.
Then they said instead of changing the timing chain and the tensioner, they'd rather just
the tensioner.
Weld that little piece in, let it push it in.
100%. So this says to me definitely that the timing chain is stretched. So if I have to put this tensioner back in there now, we're going to have an even louder noise. The best thing to do now would be to obviously take this clutch cover off over here, so that we can get to the bottom of the crank over here. We're going to have to take the tapper cover off, and then we'll be needing to change the timing chain now, so we will inspect the guides and then
while doing that,
doing it and take it from there.
This is insane. So this is why it's really important when buying a bike that you go through the full inspection. I mean, stuff like that you wouldn't be able to pick up on, but where you buy the bike, how you buy it, and how the bike sounds and stuff like that, it's really important. Because imagine if you had just bought this bike, for example, and then a few kilometers you want to do a service or full service, and then you come through something like that, bro, someone's getting. So now we basically have to call the owner and tell him the bad news. As you can see, we were not able to execute everything on this video, so there'll definitely be a part 2. Don't forget to comment and share this video with all your riding buddies and all your range buddies. And check out this video of what's happening with my S1000.